Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your, I almost said October, your April 2018 general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers. Thank you for all your likes, shares, subscribes, and all your support, feedback, and comments. You guys are brilliant. Keep them coming. And also always a big thank you to all of my clients out there, regular and new clients, for continuing to keep me so joyfully occupied with one-on-one readings. And if any of you are interested in a one-on-one reading with me and you haven't read with me before, you've forgotten the information, you can get more details and my contact info by looking at the description bar of all the videos I post, and also by going to my YouTube channel's homepage, clicking on that little About button. I do readings in all main areas of life: love and romance, of course, career, work, and finance readings. I do channeled messages from passed on loved ones. I do reconciliation chant spreads. I also do love and romance compatibility readings, and 6 and 12-month overviews, which explores what's coming in your life over a 6 and 12-month period of time, depending on how far ahead you want to look. So if you're interested, send me an email at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. Turnaround time is usually pretty fast. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do. So I can usually fit you in for a recorded or live reading within a couple of weeks period of time, almost always. So if you're interested, email me and we'll go from there. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy for quick, fast answers to quick, simple questions. And all of that contact detail is again by clicking on the About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, or looking at the description bar of all my videos that I post. So let's move right into this. These are general readings, and they're going to resonate differently because there's so many of you watching. The area of your life and the details and specifics may vary, but the energy fundamentally always, and advice always remains the same. I know my background has changed a little bit. I know I am not traveling, as is often the case when my background is different. I'm actually in the same room. I'm recovering from foot surgery, which I had a couple of weeks ago, which doesn't really affect my work with you or my clients at all, except I have to keep my leg elevated, which is impossible to do at my desk. So for the next few weeks, I'm doing readings from my couch or my bed or something like that where I can keep my leg up. That's why it looks a little different back there. Okay, this reading is for the fire sign of Sagittarius for the month of April. I keep wanting to say different months. For the month of April 2018, let's see what the fire sign of Sagittarius has in store for them for April 2018. Sagittarius, April 2018. Okay, Sag, we begin with death, or transformation as I like to call it, followed by the moon. Wow, 2 major arcana cards right out of the gate. We have the sun and the world. We have the Ace of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords, and the Ace of Wands with the 3 of Wands. From the bottom of the deck, for overall energy, focus, and guidance, we have the 6 of Cups. Well, it looks like a pretty significant, potentially a very significant month. You have 4 major arcana cards here, Sagittarius, and they're all in the first half of the month. Of course, time is always fluid, as I say, and these are general readings, so I'm reading for a lot of different people, which can always be kind of tricky. Some of you may be starting a little bit sooner. Some of you it may be happening a little later in the month. I am recording these at the end of March. But it looks like at least the first few weeks from this reading are going to be potentially pretty significant. It looks like something has come to an end, or you're laying something to rest, and you're starting off on new beginnings, which, you know, look really great, but have you a little maybe stressed out and feeling a bit overwhelmed and intimidated, as new beginnings sometimes can be, even though I have to tell you the new beginnings look potentially quite lovely. So the overall energy for the month of April 2018, Sagittarius, is the 6 of Cups. So the Six of Cups is a card primarily associated with the past, and Cups is emotional energy because it's water energy, so it's emotional and it's about feelings, emotions, relationships, usually manifests in that area of our life, or brings up those emotions in what area of our life the focus is on this month. So it's a card primarily associated with the past. This could be the long ago past, childhood, parents, roots of origin, where you grew up, family history, old friends. Looking back on something with a sense of nostalgia because you feel it was a more childlike, carefree period of time. So it looks like there's just a lot of energy, maybe thinking a lot about the past over the month of April. It looks like something is coming to an end in regards to the past, whether that's specific relationships, or you moving away from something, or you're laying something to rest of some kind. And you're moving off into something new. Some of you, I feel, might be dealing with an actual death. We do have death or transformation and the moon in the first week or so of April 2018, and death doesn't often, when we do these readings, represent actual physical death. It represents usually a major ending, a major significant chapter of your life ending, the ground being completely cleared out so that something new can be planted and nurtured and manifested. And typically what's being laid to rest is something when the death card comes up, is usually something that's been with us for a long time, something that we associate with the past, or a complete and utter transformation of that. Some of you may be dealing with, since the energy, you're thinking a lot about the past, you may be dealing with a recent actual death of maybe a family member, a close family member, or maybe even a not so close family member. It could be an old friend, you know, that you've heard of. I don't feel like this is the case for the majority of you, but I am feeling that for some of you, the reason why you're feeling nostalgic and maybe thinking about the past is because someone that was part of your past, or someone that you've known for a long time, did recently pass away. And so you're just kind of naturally kind of thinking about that, maybe memories, experiences, history, etc. For others of you, it's just there is something ending from the past, or you're transitioning away from the past in some way. Because it's a general reading, it's sometimes difficult to be really precise about it. It could be that you're moving away from a place that you've been in a long time, or moving away from a place that you grew up in, or laying something to rest in that sense. Moving on is kind of what I'm getting. And the details and specifics of that is going to vary in a general reading, but there's a moving on from the past sense. And there's a bit of kind of nostalgia, maybe some poignancy around that. Something's laid to rest, and you may be feeling a bit unsure about the future, because death is accompanied by the moon. It's a card of deep, almost visceral, primordial feelings and spiritualness, you know, that howling at the moon sort of energy. And it can represent things being not entirely clear. Things look very different under the light of the moon than they do by the light of the sun. There's a lot of hidden recesses and shadowy nooks, and a sense of spirituality in the unknown, which is partially exciting and sometimes soothing, but also, you know, not quite sure is what I'm getting, you know. So something is coming to an end, being laid to rest, and you're not entirely certain about the future, or what this ending is actually going to represent in how it plays out in a practical way. And that's kind of, I am recording these the end of March, so maybe the end of March, beginning of month. This is beginning of April. This is kind of the energy, thoughts, feelings that you're having. Now, around the second week or so, we have a fabulous combination of two major arcana cards. We have the Sun and the World. It's kind of as if you have this time period where you're like, oh, you know, you're in nostalgia mode. You're in, you know, this reminiscence nostalgia mode. Maybe a little bit of sadness with that. Not all bad. Natural. It feels understandable and natural. Then we have the Sun and the World. The Sun is a great card. It's the most, I feel like the Sun is the most powerful card in the tarot because of its ability to affect all of the cards in the entire spread, all of the cards surrounding it because it's the sun. When the sun comes out, it illuminates, clarifies, and shines over everything. So its ability to impact and affect the general energy and other cards in a reading is significant and the most powerful card in the deck, I believe. It can lessen and sometimes negate any challenging energy in the spread, and it can add an extra boost and an uplifting of energy to all other positive energy in the spread as well. It illuminates, it clarifies, it often brings solutions and answers where previously there was none. If you've been feeling a bit uncertain about something ending and moving forward, you're starting off on a new path. This is where the sun comes out and you feel better, you feel uplifted. There's always a loosening of restrictive energies, an uplifting of energy. If finances have been a bit tight, this represents a loosening up of that. If you've been sad or depressed, this is kind of a lifting of that. The sun's coming out, it's shining over everything. And there's a strong energy of just of fun, light, love, warmth, laughter. It's paired with a world card too, which can be a card of, again, this is a card of ending and new beginnings. It's the last card in the tarot. We begin with the Fool, which he has the 0 at the top of his card. It's starting out, and all the cards in the suits in between that are about the Fool, i.e. our journey through life and how we grow and mature and evolve and learn until we get to the end of the tarot where there's the World. We've reached the top of the mountain. What's next? And the World can represent travel too, and so can the Sun can represent travel or vacation. So some of you may be, I feel like actually a fair portion of you are moving or relocating. There's a sense of physical movement, moving, traveling. Some of you may be going on a major vacation. Some of you may be moving or relocating because of this, ending, chapter closing. You're moving on, and for some of you it's a literal moving on. But by the second week, it feels like whatever maybe has been that sense of nostalgia or maybe feeling a bit down is totally uplifted, and that laying to rest feeling is more or less complete. Now around the third week or so, we have the Ace of Pentacles with the 9 of Swords. The Ace of Pentacles, aces represent new beginnings. They represent the number 1, so the start potential, the start of a new path or an opportunity for a new beginning, which has a lot of promise and potential. They're like seeds. Aces are like seeds. They're like little blessings, like a little shot of extra good luck in a spread. And you have two, and they're actually side by side, Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. Pentacles is earth energy. It's practical energy. It's usually energy that manifests in ways in our life that we can see and touch and feel. Often things like, money, finance, property, resources, job, house, assets, etc. The Ace of Pentacles is a tangible new beginning that has a tangible effect in our practical day-to-day life. Often this is the card that comes up for moving, relocating, starting a new job. Sometimes it can represent receiving an unexpected sum of money, which enables us to have a practical new beginning. It's clarified by the 9 of Swords, which I don't like seeing for anybody, because the 9 of Swords represents an extreme and unnecessary level of stress, anxiety, worry, doubts, fears, staying up late at night. You can see this woman, the moon has risen high in the sky. It's probably 3 a.m. Everybody else is sleeping, but she's not. She's sitting up in bed. She's kind of hunched over in this protective, defensive gesture, and she's completely focused on whatever it is that's causing her worry, doubt, fear, anxiety. You can see that there's an owl sitting on the windowsill here. And owls, everything on a tarot card is symbolic. Everything, the colors, the designs, the shapes, the people, everything is symbolic. It has a meaning, a representation. You could spend hours just on one tarot card. Owls are one of those universal symbols of wisdom, an answer, solution, truth, enlightenment, clarity. She can't see that owl because she's not looking at it. Why? Because she's completely consumed by whatever the source of her fear and anxiety and worry is. This is your thoughts chasing themselves around and around and around like a dog chasing its own tail. This is being almost incapacitated and inactive because of what you're afraid of. And usually when the 9 of Swords comes up, it's fear of the unknown, fear of a future. It's like you're writing a script for something which hasn't even happened yet, so it's unnecessary. It's building something up to be worse in your head than the reality of the situation actually calls for. It's not realistic fear and anxiety. While the source of it, the subject matter, you might have some valid concerns. The Nine of Swords comes up when you're way overthinking it. You're making it way bigger in your head than you actually need to. So be vigilant against this energy. It is significantly negated by the Sun, which is in the card, one of the cards next to it. But be vigilant against this energy. It looks like some of you are moving away, moving on, moving away, maybe starting a new job, relocating, maybe a combination of all of those things. And it's almost like this yo-yo effect, you know, you're kind of nostalgic, reminiscent, and then you've laid it to rest, you're moving on and you're excited, and then the actual process starts, this actual tangible new beginning happens, or you're getting ready for it, and all of a sudden now you're beset by doubts, fears, concerns, anxieties. It's too much. You don't need to be. The majority of what you're feeling is not reality-based, so let it go. Do whatever you need to do to distract yourself. And action and positive thinking and logical thinking is the greatest weapon we have against fear of an unknown future. Oh, what if this happens? Has it happened yet? No. Okay, let it go. Don't write. My oldest daughter used to always say, don't future trip, Mom. Don't write a script for a future which hasn't even happened yet. So at or towards the end of April 2018, we have the Ace of Wands and the Three of Wands. A great combination of cards. I love seeing this combination of cards. And these two aces are next to each other. So here's another opportunity, another beginning. Aces are like seeds. They have a lot of potential if they're planted, nurtured, taken care of, followed through with, so that they can grow to their full and proper potential. Otherwise, aces can fizzle out as an idea which never gets acted on, something that you start but never finishes, so it's just for naught, right? So this is another new beginning next to this other new beginning. This is exciting. Wands is fire energy. This is the energy of creation. Creative, building, manifesting. It's dynamic, action-oriented. It's fire. It's creative, artistic endeavors and energy as well. It's always about building something for the future. It's very action-oriented and forward-moving. It's an exciting new beginning. It's clarified by the Three of Wands. This is a card about the future. Waiting for your ship to come in. You've done the initial legwork and you're waiting to see what the results are going to be. And in the upright position, the implication is that it's positive, that the efforts you've put into it so far are going to pay off for it. But it's about your future. It's about building on something that's going to have a positive impact and effect and consequences on your future looking down the road. So whatever this new beginning is, whatever this new beginning is, Sagittarius, looks like you're kind of a bit up and down about it. But it looks like you get over it. Those fears, those doubts, those insecurities, and you're moving on. At the end of the month, it looks like you're totally psyched. And for those of you who are still having doubts, remind yourself when they come up. The Sun's energy will help negate that or lessen that throughout the month. But remember, when any fears, doubts, insecurities about whatever new thing that you're starting out on, whatever area of your life this manifests in, the energy remains the same. When those fears come up, attack them logically and move. Action always banishes that stuff. And logically, are you afraid of something? Has it happened yet? No. Well, you know, can you reasonably plan for it? Then do so. But move on. Whatever you're doing looks really good for your future. Whatever decisions you've made to start out new, even though it might be scary, sometimes intimidating and overwhelming, keep putting one foot in front of the other because it looks really good for your future. So stay on it, Sagittarius. So Sag, that pretty much wraps up your April 2018 general reading. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope that you found it helpful because that's why we do these. Again, if any of you are interested in a more personal, tailored, just for you one-on-one reading, feel free to contact me. That you can get that information by clicking on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage. It's also attached to the description bar of the videos I post. Email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to set up a recorded or live reading with you. I can usually fit you in within a 2-week period of time or so. I have a little more extra downtime now because of my foot, so I might be able to fit some of you in a little sooner. I say some because I always get a rush of people booking personal readings, so it depends on who gets there first. But I try very hard to fit everybody in within 2-week, 3-week max period, but usually within a couple weeks period of time because this is what I do full time. So contact me and we'll go from there. If you're just looking for, if you have just a simple, fast question that you want a simple, fast answer to, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo. And so I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the April 2018 mid-month readings. And until then, Sagittarius, remember that I always wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.